ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. What class is this? Is this Kathopanishad or Shvetashvatara Upanishad? Kathopanishad, yeah. Yeah, that's why there are fewer people. First of all, it was announced late. And nothing like a little dose of bhashya in Sanskrit to scatter everyone in various directions. Okay. That's what I also thought. It's Kathopanishad. I have labeled the class like that only. Okay. So, now we'll chant the verses. The two verses have to be taken together. Okay. Which is 7 and 8. Yeah. Indriyebhyah param manah मनसः सत्त्वमुत्तमम् सत्त्वाद् अधि महान् आत्मा महतो अव्यक्तमुत्तमम् अव्यक्तात् तु परः पुरुषः व्यापको अलिङ्ग एव च यं ज्ञात्वा मुच्यते जन्तुः अमृतत्वं च गच्छति. These are the two verses, and they, left to themselves, they are confusing, to say the least. And then, even more, and to throw something else in the mix. What else shall we throw into the mix? Is the fact that they have appeared. These verses have appeared in this very fashion with a few changes here and there in 1.3.10 and 1.3.11, soon after the Ratha Kalpana section on the in the that we have studied previously. Ratha Kalpana means chariot imagery, from which from which the Bhagavad Gita has borrowed heavily. And so the chariot imagery is there, and then the this thing is there. What is that? The conclusion of the chariot imagery, and the chariot imagery is, the allegory is given only for making one separate the things that are always glommed together, and which is the body, the senses, and the the I notion, the ahankara, and the mind, which is the in Sanskrit manaha means the vacillating faculty, the emotions, and the buddhi, the intellect. All these are just like noodles and they are all stuck together. you know, and they are stuck together, especially leftover noodles kept in the fridge. Yeah, leftover. Why? Because this jiva is a leftover from many, many, many lifetimes. Leftover ignorance, leftover identifications, wrong ones. That too. So all congealed, glommed up like that. And this seems to be the main problem. And this is something that, deters one from the easy assimilation. These wrong identifications, this noodle-like existence, deters one from the easy gain and assimilation of the knowledge of the self and of the Atma, the self, as being distinct from all of them. This is something which is a big inhibiting factor, because they're all congealed, and I'm convinced I'm the senses, I'm convinced I'm the mind, I'm convinced I'm the sense objects, I'm convinced I'm the intellect, I'm convinced I'm the ahankara, the I notion that owns up all of these, and you know and I'm convinced I'm under the spate of Maya. Maya means the Shakti, Bhagavan's Shakti, that basically is running the universe and making me run helter skelter, you know. And so this, all these wrong identification, or make this knowledge durlabha as opposed to sulabha. Sulabha means easy to assimilate. Durlabha means the knowledge is there, the teacher is there, but it is not assimilated, it is not understood, it's not even pursued, because one is in this congealed state of, existence. Yeah, too much gluten here. That is the catchword of these days. It's all about eliminating gluten. And what is this gluten? Gluten is that which sticks terribly, some kind of a wheat derivative, which is all, congealed. And so the noodles made from this wheat, you put it in the fridge and then you take it out and you try to warm it up. First, it will not come out of the pan. It will be stuck to the pan, and then you ease it with a whack of a knife or a spoon, and then it falls with a big thud onto the pan that you're trying to warm it up in, and then again it's almost impossible. It will break, but it will not separate. It is that kind of a existence. This is the problem. And so many of the Upanishads talk about this kind of a mental exercise, a little housekeeping here, where one is encouraged to get to the pratyagatma, which is even beyond within quotes. I don't generally use the words, but it is there. The word para is staring at us in the face. How else to translate it? Para literally means beyond. So anyhow, so for the time being, I'll explain that later. So which is beyond means which transcends this whole I notion. Is the Sakshi the one that the witness that even shines the light, that throws the light on the I notion? So in other words, this Pratyagatma Siddhi, the not establishing, the discovery or the recognition of the fact that there is something there which transcends, or which is well past the I notion, that upon which the I notion, the ahankara, the I-ness, depends, and that which is independent of the I-ness, that which shines the light and allows, that which is so big, this I, the Atma, which is so big that it even shines the light on this little identifications with the body mind sense complex, and the one who says all this is mine, don't touch me, this is mine, this is yours, the one who's making these distinctions, the I notion, and who's declaring himself or herself the king, of the monarch of everything that he or she surveys, that one also is given, is the light is shined on that one as well, and so that is something which is like a basic place from where the person gets the preparation, like some basic preparation for the gain of this knowledge. This is very important, because the whole thing about, we have all these prerequisites for the Atma Jnanam, preparation in the sense of having a resolved mind, shama, dama, non-reactivity, dama, having a resolved mind, shama, uparati, letting go, and then what else, Shraddha, titiksha, forbearance, shraddha, reverence for the teacher and the knowledge and the shastra, and then samadhanam, single-mindedness, all these things, plus, viveka. Viveka is discrimination, and vairagya, dispassion, and then what else, and mumukshutvam, the desire to be free. And, so these are the qualifications for what is called adhikar, for being an adhikari, a qualified person to gain this knowledge. But hidden in these prerequisites, especially in Viveka Vairagya, is this, basic, what's the basic Vedanta 101 is the ability. You don't have to already have distinguished this before you come to the knowledge. But this ability to do so must be there. So must be there. Like Pujya Swamiji would always say that this knowledge is for someone who has the knowledge is best assimilated by one who is already relatively cheerful. And how can one be relatively cheerful? Because they don't take things too seriously. Whatever is happening, they're able to come out of it rather than drown, in that whatever series of afflictions. And the afflictions are generally what? Hitting the body, the mind, the senses, etc. So therefore, if I think I am the body and I am the mind and I am the senses, if I am the body, mind, sense complex, if I identify as that, then all the afflictions will be me, will be mine, and that is the cause of the sorrow. And so therefore, when taught, the person, before being taught, the person is unable to see this, that is swabhavika, that is sahaja, that's okay. But that is natural, that's normal, that without instruction, that one is not able to see this. But, when taught, the person should be able to, have the blessing of pratyagatma siddhi. This is very, very crucial. That's why the Upanishad and the Kathopanishad, both of them, spend a long time talking about the sense organs. Yeah, because the sense organs and their identification with the mind, etc., drive the person crazy. Sense objects are attached, so to speak, connected to the sense organs. Sense organs is connected to the mind is connected to the buddhi, and so on, and the buddhi is connected to ahankara, and so on and so forth. And this is the place where a person plays. What does the person play? It's like children playing king. They buy a Halloween, the parents buy a Halloween costume, a little cape and a crown and some kind of a, a little stick, and then the child will put on the crown and the royal cape, velvet cape, and then pretend to play king. Yeah, like playing house. you know So this is what it is. So the ahankara is all playing a little sham, a dress up, a mere hollow cloak of that is as though cloaking the identification and making these connections, wrong connections. And this cloak also has the cloak is made not of velvet but of velveteen ignorance that keeps you nice and soft and covered, and you don't want to even gain the knowledge. It's okay. And then what? And then this velveteen ignorance covers the ahankara and stops it, inhibits it from going to the pratyaga, going within quotes, from proceeding to on the line of enquiry, going from the cognitive sense, going further in one's enquiry and analysis to the what is called pratyagatma, the place of true kingdom, which is the sakshi. The sakshin means the witness, the one who is witnessing this Ahankara playing king, you know, putting on a crown, cloaking itself in ignorance, and cloaking the senses and the mind and everything, and then having this sense of identification with all of them. And if any problem comes, any of those things becomes my problem and me. And that me is a small, sad, sorry little me, which really is in need of help. Yeah. And that help comes in the form of the Shastra, which is a detangler. Yeah. It these entangled, gluttony noodles, it this detangles immediately. It says prithak bhavam. That's why we the last going to the verse which was before that, indriyanam prithak bhavam. That's what we had talked about earlier. Indriyanam prithak bhavam. Prithak bhava means the senses are separate. And why are they separate? Because udayastamayau chat, that they keep changing, they keep coming into being and going out of being. The Atma is not like that. And then, so that is something which the Kathopanishad specializes in this understanding this Pratyagatma, which is basically Vedanta 101. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, and then I'm not the senses, I'm not any of these things. I am that witness that shines the light on all of these things, and also on my ability to identify with these things, the light is, shined. But that's not the whole story. And of course, if you look at the whole story, I'm not any of these things, but all these things are me. You separate mentally, and then what? You separate in order to unite, because in order to see everything as one, this is another paradox of Vedanta. The separation is needed in order to unite, in order to, bring, a certain kind of a, what's its name? A certain kind of uh, a certain kind of a deep assimilation of the knowledge. The separation is needed. One might ask, why separate if the whole point is to unite, to see everything as one, and to get one with, because, so to speak, to repatriate the ahankara with the whole universe. If that is the point, then why separate it from the sense organs? Because you have to detangle everything in order to know that all this is really one, and the separation is as though another paradox. And so the Kathopanishad specializes in this, in understanding this Pratyagatma, and a lot of time is spent on this Pratyagatma Siddhi. And certain other Upanishads also we see this, most notably in the Kena Upanishad. I mean, it starts off with the question, Keneshitam patitam preshitam manaha. The student is already here, prepared enough to the point of asking, how does my mind, who causes or what causes my mind to fall into various thought patterns? What is it there? What is it there that lights up the eyes so that they can see? What is it there that lights up the ears so that they can hear? Very beautiful. And so the same thing is being achieved here. And to underscore the importance of this, separation, the mantra is repeated twice, almost verbatim, with a small little change, and we will see that. And so the so then we'll go to the mantra now. The first one, what does it say? Indriyebhyah param manaha. And in the last one it was Indriyebhyah parahi. So let us see the meaning first. The meaning is, of this, was already discussed at length earlier when we did 1.3.10. So I'm not going to go into great detail, but we'll have to go into it a little bit to understand the purport of this mantra. So the mantra is from, is specializing in a certain kind of an abstraction. And what do I mean by abstraction? The meaning is very, very simple, not very hard. It's just put in a certain way that, it's a little bit confusing, or it could appear off-putting. But if we just look at it properly, it does not pose, too many challenges in understanding its purport. And so let us see. Indriyebhyah, the first one we'll look at, and then we look at the second one, the reiteration as well. So the first iteration, Indriyebhyah parahi arthaha, arthebhyascha param manah, manasastu para buddhihi, buddheratma mahan parah. If we just take this much, that was the first one. And so here we are talking of a journey from the gross to the subtle. The gross things are easy to identify, rather objectify. So from the things that are easy to objectify, we proceed further and further to those things that are difficult to objectify, and then end up to a place which is impossible to objectify, which is really the truth of oneself. Okay? And so that is the purport of this. The tatparya of these mantras are just a kind of a cognitive acrobatic of abstract, where you go from the grossest to the subtlest. Again, there is a little twist, because it starts with indriyebhyah parahi arthaha. So arthaha means sense objects, and then indriya means sense organs. And so if we just go by this logic, the translation would be that the sense objects are more subtle than the sense organs. Is this true? No. Because the sense objects are able to be grasped by everything. And the sense organs are also, we can also objectify the sense organs. How to objectify the sense organs? Like when I say, my eyes don't see clearly today, my nose is stuffed up, or if I say something like that, then that is objectifying the sense organs. But surely the sense objects are much easier to objectify. So then why does the mantra start with indriyebhyah parahi arthaha, meaning the mind is the sense objects are more subtle than the sense organs. Here there is a little trick, because the sense organs, the sense objects have the subtle ability, karshanti te. They draw the sense objects without the sense, they draw the sense organs without them knowing what is happening. So suddenly one feels drawn to some sound somewhere, and one has already gone there. And then the mind says, wait a minute, I was supposed to go this side. I'm going to the bank. I'm going to the post office. I was headed to the post office. How did I end up at this concert? Well, the concert was so subtle that it made a very sneaky and concerted effort to draw first the ears and then the karmendriyas, all the organs of actions towards it, and then make you lose your goal. Correct? So like that. So that is how this is understood. Indriyebhyah parahi arthaha arthebhyascha param manah. Now, subtler than, beyond means subtle. So, paraha means beyond. Arthebhyascha param manah. Manah being, what is that? Neuter. So, the word param is used. So, arthebhyascha param manah. So, the manah is again more subtle than the sense objects, because the sense objects may pull the sense organs without even them knowing. But the mind has to have a restraining force. The mind has the capability, the capacity of having a restraining force and saying no. And the mind objectifies both the sense organs and the sense objects, and then does a little bit of ribbon cutting there. The untethers, the mind has the capacity to untether the sense organs from the sense objects. So the mind is subtler, correct? Yeah. Manasastu para buddhihi. Buddhi is the, in the Shastra, the manas, the mind, is a generic term that includes manaha, which is the faculty, the vacillating faculty that's always in doubt, the doubting faculty, buddhihi, the resolute faculty, the faculty of making decisions, chittam, the emotive faculty, and ahankara, a sorry little fellow that owns up all the three as itself. Yeah. So the, mano, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara, these are these fourfold classifications. And so here the manaha, chitta, chittam is included, and then what is talked about is far superior, far more subtle, and far superior. The word para has both the meanings, superior and beyond and subtle. All these meanings should be taken. So far superior to the mind is the buddhi, because the mind will be saying, I think I should stay at this concert. I can do the banking and the post office another day. No, but it's an important thing I have to, mail. It's a job application. I have to mail this. I have to send all the documents. It's very important. Oh, I can do it some other time. This is the mind. It is the resolute faculty that says, well, you set out to do these errands. This is not the time to go and, sit at this place. This is not the time to do something else. So the buddhi finally, calls the shots, and therefore it is far superior and also far subtler than the mind. The mind is a shallow level of decision making, and it's never, it can be influenced by the indriyas and while making the decision, and it can constantly be vacillating. But the buddhi, the intellect, is far better than the mind and the sense organs and the sense objects, etc., because it's the one who just puts a stop and says, no, you don't do this now. And so that is why the buddhi, being more resolute, is the one that one has to see as subtler than the mind. And then there it says, buddhehe atma mahan parah. Here atma means pratyagatma, the sakshi, So the sakshi is is mahan. Mahan means it's great. It is mahan. It's the greatest thing, and it is paraha. It is subtler than the buddhi. Because when you say, I'm not making correct decisions today, that is already the sakshi. Sakshi shining light on the non-functioning buddhi or the barely functioning buddhi. The sakshi shines the light. Okay? And so this is something which is very important. Here Atma means the what is that? Deha, prana, and deha, prana, manaha, buddhi, ahankara, avachinna, chaitanya. So the Atma here is that Sakshi, that witness, that Mahan, that consciousness, that witness consciousness, which is as though conditioned by the body, mind, sense, body, mind, sense, buddhi, etc. As though conditioned, because it is living with them, it is living amongst them, and it is giving them, but it's not like an unwanted guest in the house. Let's say you have a family of 4 or 5 people, family of 4 people in the house, and then you have a guest, and then people might think, oh, already it is hard to feed a family of 4 people, and now this has also has entered the house along with the family and seems to be, part of the family. Is the guest a part of the family? No, no, no. The guest is neither a burden, is not part of the family, and the guest is not a pest, Small distinction sometimes. The guest is not a pest. The guest is contributing to the family's welfare. How is the guest contributing? The guest is, upholding the family's lifestyle, is upholding the whole family. Let us say that it's an impoverished family, and then the guest is paying all the bills. Huh? So is that guest just a guest? No. The guest is the one, is the main person who is in the house, and the family is there now surrounding the guest, and then this family is dependent upon the goodwill of the guest to give them pocket money, to pay the bills, to pay the electricity, water, garbage, everything the guest is paying for, and the guest is enjoying the house as it were. And what kind of a guest is it? It's a guest that can leave. Yeah. When the work is finished, the guest leaves. Huh? So the Atma is like that. Atma is like that. The Pratyak Atma is like that. Pratyak means inner, innermost, inner only from the side. What is this in and out? There is no in and out. Space is Atma, time is Atma, body is Atma, out is Atma, in is Atma, above is Atma, below is Atma, this side Atma, that side Atma, beyond Atma, behind Atma. Everything is Atma. So what is this in and out? The in and out is for the person who is stuck in this time-space matrix. And so for that person, this whole in and out is given. In what? Within this body, mind, sense complex, we are constrained to use the word within. Although when you do a what is that? When you do a post-mortem, Atma doesn't jump out. Why? Because it's already jumped out. The guest has abandoned the house. And then what happens? When the guest abandons the house, this family of four, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam, they all die. Or they also leave to find another house. And, and beg the guest to come again. Yeah, that's what it is. So the guest is the one guest, and then many family members, and the guest is a guest because the guest is not part of the family. In fact, the guest is compassionate enough, magnanimous enough to uphold the house and the family together without becoming part of them. And when the work is finished, when the karma is done, the family perishes, and and the house perishes. The guest is alone, imperishable. But while living with the family, the guest is mistaken to be the family member by the family themselves, by the people who, come and go, relatives and other people who come. They mistake the guest to be part of yeah. But the guest is never mistaken. The guest is Bodha Swarupa, ever enlightened. The guest does not have any kind of a codependence or anything along with the family members. The guest simply is being, magnanimous and compassionate to uphold the family members and allow them to bicker amongst themselves. The guest is not part of the bickering. And then, and the family members sometimes, act crazy. They bang their head against the wall repeatedly. Sometimes they bang their head against each other out of frustration. The guest simply watches, and then what? And if they pray to the guest, oh, please help us, the guest will give a little bandage and tie up the little wound of the head. Perhaps, that is called Bhagavan's grace after prayer. The guest is that inner Bhagavan, just simply sitting, not doing anything in this house. The guest doesn't have to do chores because the guest doesn't act at all. And all the chores are there for the people who need the outcome from those chores. The guest simply is and accommodates everything that comes. If more family members are born, the guest does not demur and says, what is this? I'm already paying for so many people, and then you have, brought some more people into this house. No, the guest says, okay, no problem. And if a few family vacate, some notions die away, let us say, with Bhagavan's grace, the guest does not, do anything. The guest is Apuryamana Achala Pratishtha. As the Gita says towards the end of the second chapter, Apuryamana is complete, full, like the ocean. Achala Pratishtha. Achala Pratishtha Yasya. So, for this, samvit, this Atma, Pratishtha is Achala. Achala means without shaking, non-moving. And if the guests are constantly quarreling with themselves, the Atma scream and say, I need some peace and quiet. Shut up. I'm trying to study. I'm trying to live within my own glory. What are you doing? I'm constrained. Why are you occupying so much space? I need 2 rooms because I'm paying the bill. No, nothing of that sort. The Atma is undisturbed, like the ocean is undisturbed. Whether the rivers join the ocean or dry up along the way does not make a whit of a difference to the ocean. Why? Because the ocean is already full. Huh? Full of itself in a good way, full of its own glory. And so it doesn't need anything from outside. It does not has zero dependency and zero codependency on anything other than itself. So buddhehe atma mahan parah, buddhehe atma mahan and parah. And so this is, so even though the Atma seems to be bound up with the sense organs, etc., here it is not. It is not bound up with anything. It's not bound at all. And Mahataha, so Mahan here is a qualifying word for the Atma and this Pratyagatma. And Mahataha, Pratyagatma here, the Atma as it obtains within the body mind sense complex. The true meaning of the word I. Okay. Then Mahataha Param Avyaktam. So greater than this or subtler than the I notion, which is very difficult to delineate because the ahankara and all the other things are just, everything is just congealed together. It is difficult to delineate, impossible to objectify, difficult to discover for one unprepared, and then even more subtler than that is Maya Shakti. Why is Maya Shakti subtler than Pratyagatma? You can't say greater here. That's why I said the word para. That's why it's confusing. The word para has the word meaning superior, greater, subtler, and beyond. All these meanings are there, and different meanings are relevant in different parts of this mantra. That's why we have to be careful. And so, subtler than you have to use the word subtle here. Para here means subtle. Because otherwise we'll be translating it like this. And some translations I have seen which are like that. What is that? Maya is greater than Atma. This is the opposite of Vedanta. Opposite of Vedanta. Yeah, it is not, it's opposite of the vision. So it's not that Maya is greater than the Pratyagatma that obtains within the body mind sense complex. Maya is more subtle because of whose operations, because of whose creativity this sort of a unhappy marriage between the permanent and the impermanent has as though taken place. How did this Chaitanya, this vast, Mahan, great, unaffected, unafflicted, all-pervasive consciousness land up in this miserable body-mind sense complex as though, how did it end up here? Maya, unfathomable you are, Adi Shankara says in a beautiful quintet called the Maya Panchakam. Unfathomable you are, O Maya. Totally unfathomable. Why? Aghatita ghatana patiyasi. Patiyasi means not only unfathomable, you are clever. Patu means very clever. Patiyan, cleverest. Patiyasi, feminine, superlative. Yeah, feminine version of the superlative. Yes, is the suffix iyasun. And, Iyasun and Ishtan. These are the comparative and superlative things. So you are cleverer than everything. Adi Shankara says in this quintet. Patiyasi Maya, you, oh you clever one, oh you cleverer than everything. Why? Aghatita ghatana ghatayasi. What you do is you make the impossible possible. How can you squeeze, this all pervasive consciousness into this, limited body mind sense complex? How can you put that consciousness and then put a seal on the top also? you know it says that right here in the fontanelle the Atma enters. You read the Aitareya Upanishad, all these things are there, and then that's why in the babies the head is a little soft, because the fontanelle hasn't completely as though closed, and then later on the skull bones come together and close. And so how did this consciousness get trapped in this body mind sense complex? No, it's as though trapped. Yeah, but even this as though is a very big thing, because how many people know it's as though, unless one studies Vedanta, and even after that, again Bhagavad Gita says, even after listening, people don't understand this. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. It's the secret of all secrets. It's the knowledge of all knowledges. It's the king of all knowledges. Secret of secrets. Why is this a secret? It's the best kept secret, is the one that even after telling the secret, people don't understand. Aghatita ghatana patiyasi maya ghatayasi. You are making the impossible possible through your creative, magic. And the same thing Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita. Matsthani sarva bhutani. Everything has originated in me. All beings find their being in me. And then immediately that is contradicted. Naja matsthani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram. Look at this, my magic. In one go, I'm saying both. I'm saying Matsthani Sarva Bhutani, everything is within me, and then everything is not at all within me. Nacha Matsthani Bhutani. Everything is in me, has its origin in me, but I'm not, one of them. I'm not any one of them, and neither am I having a relationship to those things that have originated from me, like the adhara and the adheya. Adhara means like a pot, and inside the pot you put some grains, let us say. So all the beings are like the rice, and then they're being held by this big Paramatma pot. No, that would again be two, not one. Even though it feels nice and cozy to be inside Bhagavan and all nice and wonderful, and you can, sing some songs also like that. But that's not the vision, because they'll always be permanently two. That is not the vision at all. The vision is non-duality, and in order to get to that, this paradox has to be understood. The paradox of the paradox of the limitless ananta, satyam jnanam anantam consciousness, that limitless consciousness which is the source of all existence, which has as though entered this body mind sense complex. It blesses it but is not part of it. This has to be understood. And so therefore the Pratyagatma, even the Pratyagatma Siddhi, the discovery of the I as separate from the body mind sense complex, is not the complete vision. It's not. Why? Because that Atma, which has been separated from its association, as it were, with the body mind sense complex, has to be understood as the truth of the universe, as Jagat Karanam Brahma, as the cause of the universe. And that's why the second set mantra talks about this, because you can't just leave it as Buddher Atma Mahan Paraha. No, and you can't leave it as at that. So then you have to go further. And what is the further? How do you go? Buddher Atman Mahan Paraha. Then Mahataha param avyaktam. Mahataha param avyaktam. And then what? Avyakta, here again we talk Maya. Avyakrita, that which is not evident. The another name for Maya is Avyakta. Avyakta means it's concealed, it's not evident. How does it make the one into two or many? How does it do that? Vikshepa Shakti is not evident. And how come I don't know it? Avarana Shakti is not completely evident except as my own ignorance. It's not evident at all. And so what to do now? So what one has to do is see this completely. See this and understand that Mahataha Param Avyaktam, Avyaktat Purushaf Paraha. You have to go to that Puryamana. Sarvan Purayati iti Purushaha, that which fills up everything, that which completes everything. Avyaktat Purushaf Paraha. So what is this now? The Pratyagatma that was discovered along the way of separating it from the body, mind, sense complex is now understood as it is nothing but the Purusha. Purushatna param kinchit. Nothing is beyond, nothing is superior to, nothing is above, nothing is greater than the Purusha. There is nothing else other than the Purusha. Sa kashtha. Sa paragatihi. Kashtha, she means the raft, the stick, the whatever you want to say. So she is the help, the support of everything. Sa paragatihi. She is the ultimate. How did this Purusha, which is a masculine word, become she? It's a gender bending moment for the Upanishad. So that one does not get caught up in thinking or saying that I'm a woman, I'm a man, etc. Because at that level there is no gender. Nothing is there. Sa kashtha sa paragatihi. That's the ultimate goal of what? Of everyone. Of everyone who's a human being who's able to gain this knowledge. That is ultimate goal. And so this is how the vision is complete, because the Pratyagatma is made to be seen as non-separate from the Purusha. Purusha here is Bhagavan, Jagat Karanam Brahma, the one that wields Maya Shakti, from whom Maya Shakti is not separate. That is the one. Purushatna Param Kinchit, nothing is beyond that. So you cannot say Maya is better than Purusha. No. Maya and Purusha are one and the same. Maya is Purusha. Purusha is not Maya. Purusha transcends Maya. And so if I am Purusha, I transcend Maya. This has to be understood. And I transcend Maya means what? I transcend the Avarana Shakti. Vikshepa I don't have to transcend because it no longer produces any Vikshepa within me. Vikshepa here means disturbance. When the Vikshepa Shakti of Maya, when the ability of Maya to make one into many stops bothering me, when the multitude of people, situation, things in the Jagat, that I have to contend with, stop bothering me and afflicting me, that is Jnanam, that is Atma Jnanam, that is self-knowledge. And that is what is the goal, because when that stops bothering me, that means the Avarana Shakti, that cloaking ability to cover me from my own glory is dropped. So I don't have to do anything to the Vikshepa Shakti. Vikshepa Shakti is not our focus. Vikshepa Shakti is glory of Bhagavan. Avarana is that misery that I have to overcome. When the Avarana is not there, the Vikshepa is nothing can be done to it, and also it does not have power over me. This is what has to be understood. So here, same thing is said, Indriyebhyah param manah, same thing. Because that the word artha is not there, is not there, because as Adi Shankara explains, it is included in the indriyas. Yeah, it is already included in the indriyas, and so therefore the word artha has been left out. Artha means sense objects from before. So इन्द्रियेभ्यः परं मनः मनसः सत्वम् उत्तमम्. Sattva here is buddhi because it comes from the sattva aspects of the five elements, and it is crafted from the sattva aspects of the five elements, and so therefore the buddhi is superior to the mind, subtler than the mind. Sattvad adhi mahan atma, same thing, exactly the same. Mahatah avyaktam uttamam, slightly different wordings. Avyakta indeed, in fact, whereas from the avyakta, far superior to the avyakta, and beyond the avyakta lies the purusha. And here is where some, changes there. We will look into that. So, purushaha vyapakaha alinga evacha. And this purusha is all pervasive. V plus up means all pervasive. Up to gain. And V, when you put it, it is gained everywhere. It is available everywhere. Wherever there is misery, there is purusha. Because what is shining the light on the misery is this sattva, is purusha alone. This full purusha is shining the light on my incompleteness. The happy purusha, the ananda purusha is shining the light on my misery. This is how when one sees, it becomes a very powerful contemplation. Very powerful creation. So this purusha is vyapakaha. Vyapakaha means is available in everything, as everything, in everywhere, as everywhere. As everything and everywhere, beyond space and time, available in everything that has form, in everything that has no form, everything. That Purusha alone gives every single thing that we call a thing its very being. Yeah, that Purusha alone gives it the being, gives it the time of day. But the Purusha is not that thing. That thing is non-separate from Purusha. Everything is non-separate from the Purusha. Purusha is para, is not touched or connected to anything. Just like the house guest. So the Purusha is Jagat guest. Yeah. It's part of everything as though, but without really being part of anything. And then, this is very important, alinga evacha. Alinga means it is non-objectifiable. Lingaha na vidyate yasya alingaha. Alingaha means without, lingyate iti lingaha, lingyate ane iti lingaha. So lingaha means that which has a sign, that which is objectifiable, that which has a clear sign that one can follow. Okay, where to Purusha? There is an arrow. Here is where Purusha is. So, what about this Purusha? This Purusha is there, and this is the way to get to the Purusha. No, alingaha. Why? Because it is oneself. It is not an object. Therefore, it cannot be objectified. It has no signs at all. Alinga evacha. Eva means it alone is alinga. It alone is alinga. So Adi Shankara talking about this says avyaktat paraha purusho vyapakaha purushaha vyapakasya api means even subtler than the akasha space. Space is vyapaka, space is available everywhere and all pervasive. Now if you can even imagine something more accommodative than space, that is our Purusha, Adi Shankara says. Sarvasya karanatvat, because it is even the cause of the Akasha. It's the big daddy of Akasha. We think Akasha, space is the daddy of everything, but this has beaten the Akasha to be more accommodative, to that which accommodates space as well. That is what is called, because it is the cause of everything. And alingaha, lingyate gamyate yena. So he takes the karana meaning. So lingyate anena iti alingaha. So that which is, because of which something is known is called linga. So then he says, buddhyadi tad avidyamanam asya iti saha ayam alingaha. Yeah, meaning that which is incapable of being objectified by the buddhi, etc., by the mind, by the buddhi, by the sense organs, is called alingaha. There is nothing there to catch it and to say, this is what Purusha looks like, this is what Bhagavan looks like, and you are that Bhagavan. You can't say that in the same breath. Because if you are that Bhagavan, you are not objectifiable. So this eva, only this is like that. Why? Samsara dharma vivarjitatvat. Because it is free of any kind of attributes which have their mainstay and abiding presence in what we call samsara. So samsara is characterized by everything that can be objectified. This cannot be objectified. Even Akasha, space, can be objectified, but in my mind, I'll say I don't have enough space, somebody is breathing down my neck. That is how I objectify space. Even space is objectifiable by my witness consciousness. But, this Purusha, which is the truth of I, the Jagat Karanam Brahma, is not objectifiable at all. Samsara dharma varjitaha iti etat. It is free of samsara. It doesn't even have a whiff of samsara there, because samsara means this needless entangling. That entanglement is not there because it is bhinna, it is alinga, it has nothing that can objectify it. So it is not one with one of the many things in samsara. That's why you cannot give me the excuse that I can't study this because I have other things to do. This is not one more thing to gain. This is the thing to gain, gaining which everything else is gained, as it were. So, therefore what? So, this is samsara varjitaha, this purusha is alingaha. And then, so what shall I do? I can't objectify Bhagavan. And then, but still I have to know Bhagavan. How to know something that cannot be objectified? Are buddhu? Buddhu is the one without buddhi. It is you. You don't have to objectify yourself, because it need not be objectified, because it is already you. And that you happen to be self-effulgent, self-evident. You are evident to yourself, are you not? Well, what does that mean? Are you here? Yes. Okay. Case closed. If you say, I am here, I am, and I know I am, that is enough. Then that means that Bhagavan is also understood as Asti iti upalabhyate. Later on, the same Upanishad is going to say in a few more mantras. Asti, 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 I am, it is, it is, it is. That is, that never becomes is not, and that is which is I. That is Ishta, that is I. That's how it is gained. That is how it is gained. It is gained because it is already, it's the gain of something that's already gained. And so you don't have to know it as an object. And underscoring this, Adi Shankara says, yam gyatva, knowing which. How to know this? He helps us out here. Acharyatah shastratah. Yeah, don't, gyatva means not apne aap. You sit under a tree and, suddenly the knowledge came. Oh, sitting under a tree gave me the knowledge? Yes. What was the knowledge? Don't sit under a tree, especially when the birds are active above. That was the knowledge. So I'll take a few more minutes today, just a few more minutes to bring this to a certain place. And so, so this is not that kind of a thing. It's not like a random knowledge. It's not a knowledge gained from the book. That's why first Acharya comes. Acharyataha, Panchamyat Tasil. So in the sense of the fifth case, Acharyataha, from the mouth of the teacher, from the mouth of the Acharya, and from the Shastra, which is wielded by the Acharya. These two things are very important. From the Shastra in the form of a means of knowledge, in the form of a pramana wielded by the Acharya, one comes to know, Shastratah, Acharyatah, Jnatva, knowing which, Muchyate Jantuhu. The All these things are free. All the beings, jantuhu is I think in the thing, yeah, muchyate jantuhu is there in the second, in the last line. Yam jnatva muchyate jantuhu amritatvam cha gacchati. So knowing which all beings are freed from samsara, from this entanglement. Amritatvam cha gacchanti, gachati, the jantu, the living being gains freedom, you know, gains freedom and immortality. That is the promise of the Upanishad, and and delineating which, yam gyatva, knowing these distinctions, and from the body mind sense complex, knowing oneself to be free of the body mind sense complex, and knowing oneself to be one with Ishvara, one is freed. Upanishad says, and then one gain, more coming back, no more going, no more coming, is what is gained. And so this is explained here. Yam jnatva acharyatah shastratah jantuhu muchyate. Freed from what? Adi Shankara again to the rescue. Avidadi hridaya granthi bhihi, deva. So while living in this body, the person is freed of the heart knot called avidya. Avidya, ignorance, self-ignorance, is like a big knot in the heart. Yeah. That knot, that feeling of, feeling completely sick of everything, and that heart sick feeling is samsara, and that heart sick notion is eliminated by the study of this. And that heart sickness comes from these wrong entanglements with everything, starting with one's own body mind sense complex. So samsara dharma, so knowing myself to be free of all samsara dharma, this hridaya granthi drops when living, while living, jivan eva. And then what? Patite api sharire amritam cha gacchati. So yam gyatva while living, and then amritatvam gacchati, amritatvasya gamanam after dying, after the body falls, there is no gains immortality. While living, gains this knowledge that I am free, and after the body falls, patite api sharire, after the fall of the body, there is no coming back. That is what one was, one knows that I am this consciousness that is free of the body mind sense complex, and whether the body drops or not is immaterial. Immaterial. Yeah. So therefore, very beautiful set of verses, and more we shall see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hard ghee. What is with the hard ghee? Ah, sticky. Yeah. Very sticky. Yes. Thank you everyone for coming. And our next class is on the 4th of February, Bodhasara. Okay? Yeah. Take care everyone. Nice to see all of you. Om. Amber, come and see me next weekend. Yeah. If you are able, come. Good. Excellent. Chelsea also, tell her if she wants to come. Yes, I look forward to seeing everyone. No class tomorrow, Shivani. Yes, I'm traveling. Yeah, I'm coming there. That's why. Oh, see you all on Saturday. Okay. Oh.